Welcome back to the Realty Funnels podcast. I'm Kevin Cahill, and I'm delighted and honored to welcome Woo Kim with LynkMe Cards to the podcast today. Woo, welcome.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for having me, everybody. My name is Woo. I am super excited to have this conversation with Kevin. So let's rock and roll.
Let's do it. So, Woo has this amazing technology. We're all used to tapping our credit cards at the gas station or at the grocery store, or the convenience store, or wherever we're doing our shopping. And now your business card can be just like that. And it is amazing. You can easily share your contact information and links to your favorite websites and resources with your contacts simply with the LynkMe card. And I'm so excited to talk with Woo about this. But first, Woo, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you live.
Yep, absolutely. Hello, everybody. Again, my name is Woo. I'm the founder of LinkMe Cards. I am from Orange County, California. And little fun backstory about LinkMe Cards is this was actually my college project. I went to California State University, Fullerton, and I majored in electrical engineering. And every electrical or every engineering major has to do what's called a senior design project on their senior year in college. So what I had done was I wanted to put my resume on like an electronic card. That way I don't have to carry my resume with me whenever I went to conferences, workshops, you name it, right? So I created Link Me cards. Well, it wasn't named Link Me cards back then. It was my college project. And I got a lot of good feedback and people liked it. So I thought, why don't I make this more useful for people, not just college student, but for people that's in the workforce professionals and whatnot. So I decided to put a business card into this electronic card that I created, and that became Link Me cards. Year and a half, about 2 years later, our cards are in the hands of thousands of agents nationwide. I'm super excited about that, and we're slowly branching out to other industries. But yeah, LinkMe Cards is a digital business card that makes it super easy for you to share your information with people and get theirs back into your phone and into your database. So I'm super excited to talk about that, Kevin, on how agents can leverage this technology to easily gain more leads, make sure people actually save your number so they can call you when they need you.
You know, it's so great because in the residential real estate business, the key is having people in your database. And for a lot of real estates, it's really challenging having to ask people to, for example, sign in at an open house. And I've been a broker since 1999. So I can't tell you how many times I've had Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck show up at my open houses. I didn't realize it at the time, but later on, when I would look at the sign-in sheet, I was like, oh, so Mickey Mouse was
Oh,
here today.
a lot of people have numbers that start with 111.
Yes, or the 555. It's like, come on, nobody has a 555 prefix. So this is fascinating. So you were an engineering major in college and you had a project that you needed to complete, but you also were, this is what my wife Lisa often talks about. She says, my laziness has always served me well. And so you just didn't want to have to carry around a bunch of copies of your resume.
Right.
And this worked very well for you.
Yeah. I think Elon Musk said this too. He says he's looking for like lazy employees when he's going through a hiring process because they'll always find a faster way to get to the goal. So in this case, for your wife and me, laziness worked out for us.
Yes, yes. And in addition to being a real estate broker, she's a certified public accountant.
Wow.
And so she's been a CPA since 1993. So back then, people weren't doing a lot of their stuff on computers yet. But she was finding ways to use databases and spreadsheets and Excel and all sorts of different ways to crunch numbers. And if they totaled properly in two different calculations, she knew that the bottom line number was correct because
Right.
there couldn't be two identical mistakes in two different equations. It would have to work identically well to get the right number both times. So she found all sorts of ways to be lazy. And I'll tell you what, in my little money clip that I carry around, which I buy my money clips at in gross 144 at a time.
Okay.
uh, I always carry around my business card, but then at a certain point, I've run out of business cards over the course of a weekend. And so it's going to be very, very helpful for me to have the physical card, but then this is also something that people can use on their phone too. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get into that, I just have a question that I want to ask you, Kevin. Do you know what percentage of business cards get thrown away within the first week?
Oh, I would put it up close to 90 some odd percent.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're real close. So statistically, they did a study on this. 88% of all business cards get tossed within the first week, with the biggest reason being, as soon as let's just use an agent in this example. As soon as an agent connects with a prospective client, if they don't need your service right there, right then, they throw away your card. And that's a lost lead. If they don't have your card and months go by the time they actually need to move or sell or whatever, they have no way of contacting them. And that's a lost lead. That's what happens so many times with a lot of agents when they're handing out paper cards and they don't bother getting their information back into the agent's phone. And so I would really wanted to fix that. When I saw the stats, I was like, wow, everybody's obsessed with, buying business cards, designing the perfect business cards, buying these thick ones to be different. But reality is only 12 people out of 100 people will keep your card by at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So the question becomes, how do we make sure we get their info, they get our info, and they land in our database, all three at all times, every single time we connect with our client. And we really wanted to tackle that problem, and we do that using a digital business card. Right. So to answer your question, Kevin, yes, you're right. You can do everything on your cell phone. Think of it as a business card that's created for you and customized for you on your cell phone. So I'll pull up my business card here. This is my business card right on my cell phone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like this. Got your picture, logo, your DRE number can be on here. From a click of a button, people can save all your information with your picture, number, website, social media, all that stuff right into their phone. So boom, congratulations. Now you have now they have your number. Your website, social media, and their respective social media icons are in there, your bio. And I recommend a lot of agents to have a video introduction posted on YouTube so that people can just visit your digital card and play your video introduction right on their card, as well as your testimonial. So think of this as a hub for all your real estate needs. And what's really cool is whoever connects with you using this card lands right in your CRM or any type of CRM databases you have automatically. So let's do this. We'll do a little demo here. Kevin,
Mhm.
let's just say
I've
you
got
and I.
mine at the ready too.
Oh yeah, you got yours ready. So Kevin, let's do this demo. I'm an agent. You are, let's just say you're a teacher. We met at a dealership. We're both waiting for our car. We strike up a conversation. The conversation turns into real estate. And so here's what I'm going to say as an agent, and Kevin's a prospective client. Hey, Kevin, it's great talking with you. I would love to send you over my card. You said that, are you looking to buy or sell, Kevin?
Well, eventually we want to buy another home slightly larger.
Perfect. So I'm going to put buyer. Kevin, you said that you're a teacher and your first name is Kevin. What's your last name, Kevin?
Cahill, Cahill.
Perfect. Kevin, what's your phone number?
It is 206 737
Oh,
7325.
7325. Awesome. So what I've just done is this. I opened my card when Kevin and I connected. And then I interviewed Kevin, like, hey, Kevin, I would love to. Sorry, I have some cats here. Yeah. I would love to send you over my card. What is your first name? Are you looking to buy yourself? What's your phone number? And I entered that information in my card. And what's cool is I got a text with Kevin's info. That's Kevin right there. So Kevin's in my phone. Kevin, you should have gotten a text with my info. with my picture, website, contact information, social media, everything. And
So cool.
now Kevin, you're in my database. And what's really cool about this approach is they don't even feel like they're giving their information to me. I'm asking them, hey, what's your number? What's your email? What's blah, blah, blah. And what I found is when you ask people to sign in, or you say, hey, scan this QR code and fill out your information, 9 times out of 10, they give you bullshit information. Oh, sorry, excuse my French. They give you bogus information. And what I found was when you ask people, they're far less likely to give you bogus information. So I've actually never gotten bogus information from people when I use this method.
Well, because
Yeah,
it's a warm conversation.
right. And they don't feel like they're getting sold.
No, it's
So,
perfect. It's really the next generation. And what we're looking for all the time, inside Realty Funnels, inside of our software as a service and how we coach and train real estate agents, we're always looking for ways to make what we have to do easier for us and a lower hurdle for the consumer. It's very tough when you tell them to click on a QR code, even though QR codes aren't complicated. Okay, so what you're saying is I have to pull out my phone, open up the photo thing, scan this, press the button, go there and do something. That sounds like work.
right,
But here I
right,
am at the car dealership waiting for the oil change to be done. I'm talking to this great guy, Wu, and we're just talking. And, I don't mind if he keeps in touch. In fact, I would highly value it if I could keep in touch with this guy. And now I can feel like he will keep in touch with me. Oh, and I just got his information. I can keep in touch with him too. In fact, I'm going to just simply take that contact info, save it, and look at it. I've already got all the information I need about this guy.
right.
So two things are happening: systematized and easier. I'm always
Absolutely.
reading about, as a software person, I'm always reading about the user experience.
Mm,
And real estate agents are busy and they've got a lot of things that they're focusing on. And often they're trying to put out the nearest fire, but they've got multiple fires burning. So they've got to keep really busy. So their user experience has to be so easy as to be like, I don't even have to think about it. Oh, I'll do it, but it doesn't take me any mental time. I don't have to stop what I'm doing. Think about that website, go to that website. Where's my password? I'll have to figure out what my
mm.
password is. No, this is just super easy now.
Right, right. And I love the fact that you brought up how it's, systemizing and making it easy. And I just wanted to really quickly highlight the fact that Kevin, as a prospective client in this example, let's just say 6 months go by, Kevin, and Kevin has no idea what my name was. Only thing he remembers is he connected with this real estate guy at a dealership 6 months ago. Now he's looking to buy, but he doesn't remember my name. What does he do? Well, since he saved my contact in his phone, he would go to his contacts on his phone and he will look up agent or
Mhm.
realtor. And my picture and name, website, social media will pop up right there, right then. And he will be like, oh, that's the guy I connected with. Let me give that guy a call. You can't do this with paper business cards.
They're not
That's
going to
the
stick
idea.
around. Real estate
Yeah.
agents are going to throw them away. I'll share with you an interesting story of some really old school approach that Lisa and I used for years. And we're just not working with home sellers and home buyers anymore. We focus on Realty Funnels and coaching and training real estate agents. However, I firmly believe that this is still a perfectly valid approach. And that is, we sent out postcards. And what was interesting was, probably statistically, 88% of the postcards got thrown away at the right there as they're organizing their mail. They're just throwing away the junk mail. It probably got thrown away that day. However, I can't tell you how many times we went on listing appointments and our postcard was on the fridge. And what that tells me is that people who are highly intent will keep information about somebody who impresses them, somebody who shares some interesting information. So what you're able to do here in a digital way is similar to the postcard because you gathered that information and then you put them into your database. And then, of course, in your database, you're going to have some type of follow up automation. And inside Realty Funnels, we have a 2-year follow up automation that's pre built so that real estate agents can just add a contact, click the tag that they're going to be in the 2-year follow up. And those people are just getting constant information of value. So you, but that's no good if you don't have more contacts.
Right,
So
right.
the LynkMe is one of the key ways in which a typical agent just running around town doing their typical stuff. They're at the grocery store, they're at the coffee shop, they're at the gas station, Home Depot, Lowe's. You never know where you're going to meet a prospective home seller or buyer. But now you've got that extra way that you can capture that information. I'm just so excited about it.
Yeah, I love that. I also love how Realty Funnels has a built-in CRM, all the automation, the marketing, all the features that every agent needs. And I can see a very easy way for LinkMe cards to just constantly push more contacts, push more leads within or to the Realty Funnels so that it can be automated. The follow-up for 2-year automation, that is amazing. That's so much time taken off the agent's plate. And I think that's a lot of value add for agents. Yeah,
Well,
totally.
thank you. Yeah, I wrote those 96 messages. So there are 96 distinctly different messages over the course of 2 years. So that's 4 messages a month, 48 per year, 96 over the course of 2 years. And none of them repeat, but they all add value. So some of them talk about appraisals, some of them talk about home inspections, some of them talk
Mhm.
about property tax valuations, just keeping you front and center of those prospects so that when they think of real estate, they're thinking of you.
Yeah, I love that you have different, like diversified portfolio of messages because I connect with a lot of agents, as you know. And a lot of agents have the automation set up where I go into their contacts or CRM database rather, as soon as we connect. And what ends up happening is I get an email from them weekly, but it's the same title. Subject line is always the same, morning or afternoon, morning or afternoon, morning or afternoon. And so it makes me not want to read them because it's the same email. I can clearly tell it's been automated. I think that's the key. How do we make sure our automated emails don't sound automated? And I think that problem by diversifying the messages, talking about appraisals, talking about lending, different topics throughout I think that's brilliant.
Well, what you're doing is so helpful for so many people, but it's not just real estate agents, although obviously real estate agents are going to see the immediate benefit. And we definitely want people to be able to go and find you. So people can find you at linkmesmartcards.com. We won't make them wait until the very end of this podcast episode to learn about that. But anybody who's in insurance sales, mortgage lending, honestly, dentists, doctors, attorneys,
Mhm.
it gets easier and easier for anybody who is in business where they need clients in order to make money,
That's right.
which is a lot of people.
I like to say anybody that's in sales or marketing. And turns out everybody's in sales and marketing because by the end of the day, at the end of the day, you're selling yourself, right, to the client or to your boss every single day. So yeah, whoever needs business cards, consider going digital with LinkMe to that.
Yeah, I'm all for it. And that when you and I met, I was like, well, first off, I want this product. Secondly, I want to talk to this guy because he's onto something big. So tell me a little bit more about how you run LinkMe. You've got a small team. You're doing the tech work on the back end. You've got the sales, the promotions. Tell me a little bit more about how that all looks.
Yeah, oh, that's a great question. I've been to a lot of podcasts, but I've never been asked that before. That's a great question. So I would say for the first year and a half of running the company as a solopreneur, I ran everything. I cleaned my office, I ran bookkeeping, I sold, I booked meetings, I took care of client care, I took care of the onboarding, I took care of the product improvement, everything. Right. I wore multiple hats. And now we went from a single person company to a small team. So now we have a back-end product person. So I'm super excited about him. We recently brought him in about 2 months ago, and he's been just improving the card by so much, adding a ton of new features. So the new year's looking really exciting for us. So we have a product guy, head of sales is me, and I do have a few salespeople now, affiliates more so.
Mhm.
And I have couple of VAs for taking care of the client side, onboarding, customer care, answering emails. And I just hired another person for booking more meetings, presentations, more ways for me to let agents know that this technology exists. And I'm still the primary person that goes out there and kind of educates agents, hey, this technology is available for you. Use this to make your life easier. So yeah, we went from one person to a team of about five, 4 or 5-ish. Yeah.
I love it. So you're keeping it lean, leading with revenue, and it sounds to me like your success is very similar to how I've generated my success, and that is with some key relationships, with some influential people, um, people who had a network of their own that I could tap into. And it's a smart way to grow because you could just fail to launch simply because of the cost of ads, for example.
Right. Right.
If you were to try to grow a product like this, which is super affordable for real estate agents. I mean, it's not an expensive product. In fact, it costs you less than a box of cards to get this technology, which is really quite amazing. And so, yeah, you have to be really lean and smart about how you're going to grow.
Right. And I just want to share one thing, Kevin, is that since I'm still pretty new to the game of business, and one thing that I noticed is people that are way ahead of me, they saw that I was ambitious, that I was hungry, and they were willing to help, which at the time it didn't make sense to me as to like you are making all these much money, like you're so busy, like why are you helping me? I didn't get it. But now I'm starting to help people that are just starting out. And I think the reason why they helped me is the same reason why I want to help the newcomers, is that we need more, or the world needs more entrepreneurs solving problems.
Yes,
And when you see somebody that's hungry and that's motivated and they do everything that you suggest them to do, it makes you feel good at the end of the day.
absolutely.
And so I guess my message is any brand new agents watching this, please don't be afraid of asking for help because successful entrepreneurs would love to help as long as you're willing to help yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always been willing to help real estate agents on my journey because when I got started, there were some great real estate agents in Cleveland, Ohio, where I launched my career, who were more than happy to just be very generous with their time with me. When I was brand new to the business, they let me hold their listings open on Sunday afternoons, which gave me a lot of great experience talking with home sellers and home buyers in the local market area. People who are abundance mindset. Oh, a cat just walked across your screen. I love it. I love that. Well, yes. So people who are of an abundance mindset are not feeling like your competition. There's more than enough to go around. I know people that you'll never meet. You know people that I'll never meet. What's the risk of us being collegial in our efforts to have success in our business? There's
Yep.
no risk. And then there are those people who are scarcity mindset where I've got to protect everything and everything could be mine. So I'm not going to let anybody else get anything that could be mine. And the reality of it is they have far less than those people who are abundance mindset.
I completely agree. Yep. In so doing, they lose more job, lose more sales. Yeah, I
Yeah.
completely agree.
And what you said is so true. I had a brand new agent, brand new to the business. He had just moved to Florida, where Lisa and I were running our brokerages, and he was just brand spanking new, but he was a former military officer.
Oh, okay.
So he was amazingly comfortable taking command from leaders
Mm,
and doing what the leaders told him to do. And
right.
so I would say, hey, go out and meet 5 new people every day. And now with the LynkMe card, it'd be even easier to grow that database. 5 people every day. Reach out to 10 people you already know and just check in with them, say hello, keep that relationship growing. Send a handwritten note of some sort. And when I was younger, it was actual note cards. I'd actually get a stamp, put a stamp on the envelope, mail a note card to somebody. But that's, 15 people. Who are those 15 people? The 5 that you just met that day and the 10 people that you
Mhm.
reached out to that day. So those 15 personal notes, well, nowadays there's no problem with it being a personalized text or a comment on social media, but just again, keeping that relationship going, knowing that, letting that person know that you're thinking about them personally, and then go out and preview 5 homes in your local market area. Everybody
Mm,
might have heard of this, the 5, 10, 15, 5. But when I told this former Air Force officer to go out and do this every day, 5 days a week, he just said, okay, I'll do that. And he crushed it.
right.
In his first full year in the business, 12 months as an active full-time real estate agent, he generated $232,000 of gross commission income.
That is
And then,
amazing.
yeah. And then he said, Kev, what do I do next? And I said, okay, well, now you've got the financial resources to start putting some paid advertising in place. And here's what I'd recommend: do this, do that, do this other thing. He's like, okay. And he just went out and did it. And he generated $374,000 of gross commission income in his second full year as an agent. New to
Wow.
the business, new to his market area, didn't know people, didn't know how the contracts worked, still had questions about addenda, and he had generated $606,000 of gross commission income. Now, maybe I could have made that money, but there was never a moment where he listed a property that I felt I should have listed. In fact, he was getting opportunities I never would have had. So what was the risk?
Mm,
No risk.
wow, that is incredible.
It was great. But, we all have those people who are willing to be generous with us, willing to share. But as you said, you have to be willing to go out there and do the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah,
Let me ask you one last question before we go.
sure.
What is it that you know now that you wished you knew 3 years ago, 5 years ago?
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin over here is a wonder. He has such great questions. Okay. That everything just takes that much more work than you think. It just takes more work than you think. I just wish I had understood when I first started that it's going to take a lot more work than I even expected or imagined. But the key point here is once you realize how much work it takes to get one transaction, that one sale, or that one customer, you just triple that, quadruple that, and now make that your new standard. And I wish I understood that at the beginning. Is in the beginning when I started, I thought, oh, it's gonna be easy, like right, it can't be that hard. And then I noticed like I have to do 7, 8, 9 times amount of work that I thought I would need in order to make one sale. So I just wish I understood that it just takes more work than you can think, you can expect, at least in the beginning.
Yeah,
But
don't give
once
up.
you're in the game, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
it's so
yeah.
true. There's a fable about a guy who had a field and he was prospecting for gold out in his field. And he had the tractors and the backhoes, and he was really trying to get this vein of gold. He felt that it was there, but months were going by. It wasn't happening. He never found any gold, and he was about to lose everything. So he said, "You know what? Forget it." He sold the land. The guy who bought the land bought the tractors, bought the backhoes, went out there, did one more scoop, and there was the gold.
That's crazy.
3 feet from gold. It's a fabulous old story from Napoleon Hill. Let's
Hmm.
give
Hmm.
everybody a way in which they can reach you. They can obviously go to linkmesmartcards.com. Where else can people find you?
So our you can easily reach out to us on our Instagram page, and that is at LynkMe Cards, just LynkMe Cards, LynkMe Cards. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all the major social media platforms. I would say we are most active on LynkMe Cards. We put out a lot of great content. In fact, content from this podcast will also be on our Instagram. So give us some love, show us love. I'll follow you guys back. And Kevin, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me today.
Woo Kim, thank you so much for being here. You and I could just talk for hours and hours, and we'll probably have you back for another episode in the future. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, sir.